Problem 31 from Chapter 9. In this case, we have the furniture data set for the 50 complaints. And we're going to try and determine a hypothesis that the mean number of days between the receipt of a complaint and the resolution of a complaint is 20 days. So that's our null hypothesis. Is there evidence that this is not true? So in other words, is the mean number of days different? Which again can mean they are above or below. So this is two tails. We have the level of significance of 5%, which we put into our Excel spreadsheet. It's going to look a little different than this. I'll do the Excel version of this later. We have the sample size, the mean, and the sample standard deviation from our data set. So you can see that the sample mean is significantly different than the null hypothesis. We go through the calculations, finding the t-test statistic, the critical values, but what's really important is the p-value. The p-value in this case is very low, 0.0003. And if the p-value is less than the level of significance, which it is in this case, 0.0003 is well below 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. So there is enough evidence to conclude that the mean number of days is different from 20. So you can see that with a sample of 43 and your target is 20, that it is, in this case, significantly higher, so it'd be above. So in part B, the population needs to be normally distributed, which we're going to assume that it is. And we have a normal probability plot in part C. In part D, do you think that the assumption is valid? And it says even though the population is probably not normally distributed, the results would still be valid because of the sample size is greater than 30. So even if it's slightly skewed, unless it's extremely skewed, everything you can use, and you have a sample size of greater than 30, you can use the central limit theorem.